Welcome to Drill Down Earnings. We have quarterly results from Apple. Let's get right to them. This is the business story about one stock on the move. I'm Cory Johnson, Chief Market Strategist for Epistrophy Capital Research. Q3 earnings, I should say. Q4 for Apple, though, fiscal Q4. This is better than Wall Street expected. But specifically, let's dig into the business here and see what we learned. So for the quarter, company reported quarterly revenue of $94.9 billion. And that's a 6% improvement. Revenues are rising again at Apple. They rose last quarter as well, but they had been in the dumps for a little while there. Now growth has returned. Specifically, that's really benefiting from sales of the iPhone. The iPhone 16 sales are doing well. Apple Watch is doing well. AirPods are doing really well. And they're all very profitable. So the operating margins at 31% for this company. But when we look at the whole business, how it all works, iPhone is a dominant business, yes. But services is growing to be something real at 26%. Also worth noting, 10% of the revenues of a $96 billion quarter, 10% of that was in wearables, home, and accessories. That's really about AirPods there. So there are other businesses doing as well. But services growing at 12% faster than the overall company. And so we see from the services businesses, we've been hearing for many years from Tim Cook that the future of Apple will be in services, and we can see it in the numbers right now. Steadily, services are gaining here. But the big story is that iPhone growth has returned. iPhone growth now at 6% on a year-over-year basis. Very strong for this company, and high hopes, because obviously it's the biggest, most important business that they've got. So when the numbers came out, the stock was up just about 1%, no big deal in after-hours trading, after a 33% rise in the last year. Now, one thing I want to note is financial management. I've done with this company, a couple of companies lately, and in our drill down earnings that we've been sharing together, you, me, but buybacks. The steady spending on buybacks to reduce share count doesn't look like much in any given quarter, but when you look at what's happened over time, it has dramatically reduced the share count from nearly 18 billion to about $15 billion. Even as they give shares to their employees, they're spending a lot of money to buy shares back and take them out of the circulation, which of course is a boost to earnings per share. So earnings per share, just look back 2 years ago. If the share count had stayed back just 8 quarters ago, we would have seen earnings this quarter of 84 cents. So instead we saw 97 cents, which is 16% better for this company, thanks to the use of buybacks. Now, one thing I do want to point out here that is a little bit of a concern, and that's China. Sales of the iPhone into China have just not been strong. They've been shrinking many of the last few quarters, and we're about flat, I guess better, but they're really dragging down sales. Ex-China, you saw a 7% increase in iPhone sales, but China dragging down the numbers overall. So of course we heard from Tim Cook in the conference call from Apple. Listen to what Tim Cook had to say.
If you look at how we did for the quarter, we were relatively flat year over year. And a key component of that improvement relative to the year over year performance that we had been achieving is that there was a sequential improvement in foreign exchange. And so that helped us out. As you know, it's been a headwind that we've been reporting for a period of time. But the other parts that are, what else is going on there is that our installed base of the active devices reached an all-time high. We had the top 2 selling smartphones in urban China, according to Kantar. The level of new customers that we have buying the products like Mac and iPad are well over 50%. Watch is over 3/4 that are new to the product. And so there's several positive signs there. In terms of the stimulus, it's a clear focus of the team there, but I'm not an economist and don't want to ad lib on the effect of it.
Can't shake that guy. Solid as a rock. Tim Cook, that's one of the best CEOs in America. All right, what's it all mean? What's your big drill on earnings takeaway, and what's the one number that tells us a whole lot? I've got that for you. So Apple just reporting Q4 numbers, fiscal Q4 for this company, $4.9 billion in revenues. Very profitable company as well, 97 cents a share in earnings. But I think the one number that tells us a whole lot, the number that you really want to take home and think about here, is that iPhone growth has returned. 6% growth in iPhone sales. iPhone 16 is a big hit, a burgeoning hit. We might expect more of that once the iOS lets us do AI on our new iPhones. I don't have one yet, but I should soon. Let me get to that. Thanks for listening to Drill Down Earnings. I'm Cory Johnson.